Hello, everybody. Welcome to our reading for today, Friday, June 19th. Today we will be reading the book The Sky is Falling. But first, we're going to go ahead and go over the sight words for today. The first one is nut. Nut. Alright, your turn. The next one is fell. Fell. Alright, your turn. The next one is falling. Falling. Alright, your turn. The next one is squirrel. Squirrel. Although that's kind of confusing. The R should make like a harder sound, but it doesn't. It sounds like squirrel. Squirrel. It's kind of like a soft R. Alright, your turn. The next word is wise. Wise. Alright, it is your turn. Alright, great job. And with that, we will go ahead and start our reading. Alright, so today's reading is called The Sky is Falling. We are still continuing our science lessons for this week, so this does have to do with science. So while you're looking through these, see if you can figure out why I picked this book. And here, as you can see, some of the animals seem to be talking to each other. And would animals talk to each other normally like this? No, right? So then, what is this, a fiction or non-fiction book? What do you think? Yes, this is a non-fiction. This is a fiction book. Sorry, it is a fictional book. Yeah, because animals don't talk to each other, especially telling them each other things and things like that. So, this is a pretty fun story. So, with that, let's go ahead and get reading. The sky is falling. A nut falls from a tree. The nut hits Rabbit. Rabbit runs to tell Fox. The sky is falling, says Rabbit. Fox runs to tell Bear. The sky is falling, says Fox. Bear runs to tell Squirrel. The sky is falling, says Bear. Squirrel runs to tell Deer. The sky is falling, says Squirrel. Deer runs to tell Mouse. The sky is falling, says Deer. Mouse runs to tell wise old Owl. The sky is falling, says Mouse. No, it is not, says wise old Owl. A nut fell, says wise old Owl. It hit Rabbit on the head. Alright, so now it is your turn to read. Ready? Let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Ready, get set, go. Alrighty, so great job there. If now let's talk about why what's happening in the story. So who do we have here in the story? We have a rabbit, a fox, a bear, a squirrel, a deer, a mouse, and the wise old owl. Notice that his name is a little bit different than the other ones, right? His name starts off with wise old owl. So what is that supposed to mean? What do you think wise means? That's right. Wise means smart. That means he knows a lot of things, right? So he knows that so he saw that well, I actually didn't see it because we don't actually see him there. But he hears that the sky is falling, right? Because that's what Rabbit thought. But then he says, what does he say? No, it is not. Because the sky is not falling, it was just a nut, right? Okay. So why do you think that Rabbit freaked out because and thought that the sky was falling? The first sentence says a nut falls from a tree. So it doesn't say the sky is falling or anything. The nut just simply fell from the tree. And there is a reason why when a nut falls from a tree, it hits the ground and it doesn't just stay up or starts floating around. Does anyone know what that is called? Gravity. Here we see gravity, right? It hits the rabbit, jumps down, hits the ground, jumps over a little bit, right? So here we see a perfect example of gravity. So a rabbit doesn't expect anything coming from the sky, right? So that's why he thinks that the sky is falling. So what do you think? Do you think the animals also believed Rabbit? Let's look at their faces. Yeah, it sure looks like it. Here we have Fox that is a little bit worried. Bear's a little bit worried. Uh, Bear is still a little bit worried. Squirrel looks a little scared. Squirrel kind of believes it. So does the deer. Um, the deer and the mouse believe it. And of course, the only character in this story is the wise old owl because he knows that the sky is not falling. It was just a nut that fell from a tree. All right, so let's go ahead and ask a few questions here about the book. All right, so what happens first in the story? That's right. The nut falls from the tree and it hits the rabbit. Not only that, the rabbit gets a little scared and thinks that the sky is falling. So here is a good question. Why do you think Rabbit thinks that the sky is falling? Here's a big hint. Look at his face. That's right. Rabbit does not see that the nut fell from the tree, hit their head, and fell on the ground. And they don't really see the nut while they're on their way to telling Fox as well. So our next question is, which word describes Rabbit the best? Is he silly? Is he angry? Or is he happy? Kind of silly, right? Because towards the end of at the end of the book, he finally sees that the net hit his head. Okay. All right. So, what happens at the end of the story? What is one of the things that happens at the end of the story? That's right. Owl is kind of like let's look at their face. They're kind of like, oh well, no, Rabbit is wrong. They're wrong. They're correcting them, and it's really because a nut fell on Rabbit's head. Alright, so how would you describe an owl? What is an owl? An owl is a bird that hunts prey, and they usually hunt at night. Okay? So sometimes we do see owls in the daytime, but most of the time they do hunt at night, because that's when all the little animals start to come out too. All right, everybody. So that is our reading for today. I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday.